The name Kuvasz is believed to a Hungarian form of the Turkish word kawasz, meaning the armed guard of the nobility. The Kuvasz, pronounced koo-vahz, is a big, strong Hungarian working dog whose main task was originally to guard livestock. The history of this breed dates all the way back to Middle Ages, when the nomadic Magyars, the ancestors of modern Hungarians, settled in the Carpathian Basin. They brought with them large working dogs from the east, possibly as far as Tibet. These dogs were initially popular among livestock owners, but as their notoriety grew, ownership was eventually restricted to the nobility. It took until the 19th century before anyone established a breed standard. Although the Kuvasz was recognized by the American Kennel Club in 1931, the following decades brought devastation to its native land of Hungary. Only 30 dogs were salvaged from the wreckage of World War II when it was deliberately targeted by invading soldiers. Today, after decades of dedicated breeding, the Kuvasz is prized as both a companion and guard dog. The Kuvasz is characterized by a wedge-shaped head, almond-shaped eyes, and drooping ears. The luxurious all-white consists of 2 layers, outer guard hairs and a finer undercoat. This makes it very thick and somewhat coarse to the touch. Despite their very different geographical range, the Great Pyrenees, as the name suggests, originated near the Pyrenees region of southern France. The 2 breeds are thought to be very closely related. Both of them have big bodies, thick white fur, and protective personalities. The main difference is that the Great Pyrenees has a wider head, heavier bones, thus more cumbersome movement, patches of gray or tan fur, and a double dewclaw on the hind foot. While generally healthy, the Kuvasz may be prone to several serious conditions, including bloating, cataracts, cancer, hip dysplasia, a bleeding disorder called von Willebrand's disease, and a degenerative bone condition called osteochondritis dissecans. The life expectancy for this breed is 10 to 12 years. To maximize the chances of a long and healthy life, there are a few things you can do. First, the quality of the breeder always matters. Ask the breeder for proof that their dogs have been screened for common genetic health disorders and do not settle for less. Second, you should find a good vet in your area and schedule regular checkups. In summation, these are the most common health problems: cataracts, bloating, cancer, hip dysplasia. The Kuvasz is a brave, spirited dog with a personality well suited for work or guard duty. While a little wary and suspicious of strangers, this breed will also form a very strong bond with members of the family. Despite their enormous size, they are sensitive souls, very responsive to both praise and blame. They have an independent streak and may suddenly act on their own. This can be good if the situation calls for bold action, but not everyone may appreciate this behavior. Their barking is also relatively limited for a guard dog. The Kuvasz is probably not a great choice for owners who want a simple low-maintenance companion. This is a pure working breed that will likely demand a lot of its owner's time and attention. Likewise, it's not really suitable for apartment living. Owners should ideally have a suitable house with a fenced yard. If you have any other questions or concerns about your dog's care, then you should consult with your vet. The Kuvasz needs around 3 to 3.5 cups of high-quality dog food per day. This amount may change slightly based on your dog's size, age, and activity level. Owners will need to be careful about how much they feed their dog, because this breed does have a tendency to gain weight and experience bloating, a very serious and potentially life-threatening condition in which the stomach is unable to expel air. It's a good idea to leave out only 2 meals a day and limit the number of snacks. Despite its thick double coat and its tendency to shed, The koo-vahz only requires weekly grooming with a simple slicker brush or pin brush to remove loose hair and debris. If the fur becomes matted, then it might be a good idea to use a larger toothed comb and a conditioning spray to work out the mats. This should be combined with the occasional bath to clean out dirty fur. You should also trim the nails about once a month if they are not naturally worn down. Finally, brush its teeth with a suitable toothpaste at least 2 or 3 times a week to prevent disease and bad breath. The koo-vahz has earned great acclaim for its high intelligence and the speed at which it learns to perform lots of different tasks and human commands. That does not necessarily make them easy to train, however. This breed's strong independent streak will probably assert itself often during the course of training. Owners will need to exercise patience and consistency in their training methods to overcome the breed's natural tendency to act on its own. There is unfortunately no easy way around this, because early training is an absolutely necessity with this breed. If you're struggling to get a handle on the training process, then you might want to enlist the help of someone who really understands a dog like the koo-vahz. Koo-vahz pups will need rigorous training and socialization from the moment they're brought home by the owner. Training will help with discipline, while socialization, like parties, dog parks, or doggy daycare, will help curb your dog's natural suspicion of strangers. Another important thing to keep in mind about koo-vahz pups is that they need plenty of time to adapt and grow physically. Owners should limit the length and intensity of exercise during the first year or even 2 of their lives. Running and jumping around on hard surfaces is particularly problematic and could lead to injuries. Finally, crate training is a good way to help your pups deal with anxiety and house training, though it's not strictly necessary. The koo-vahz is very friendly and protective toward younger members of the family, but keep in mind that it may mistake some child's play as aggression. If your kid is playing with friends, for instance, then the dog may step in and think it's protecting your child. Adults should supervise any and all interactions between dog and kids.